Yeah. Yeah, irritation. It's like, okay,
You're lucky she didn't punch you.
yeah, she did. A couple of times. Yeah, what's wrong with you anyway?
I just figure if one of us gets a sickness, it's inevitable.
Yeah,
We're gonna catch it.
but if you're in a school or anything where you got things.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
when the school's kids went back, I can remember when Jake was little. Every single went back.
My kid would bring home snot everywhere. It was a.
It's insane. But they built up good immunity during that time. Right. Such a tough one because many teachers, especially elementary, walk in the room. They're sick all the time, but they don't have any sick leave. It's just. My aunt was a kindergarten teacher for 30 years.
Yeah.
And she went to work sick. A lot.
My mom was in the Seattle School District for 25 years. You know, they have such good sick leaves. It's amazing. They were super well funded. If the levies passed, now sometimes the levies have failed.
Well, yeah, well, she was down.
And some schools are, or in a couple of days, a month, you know, those are the words.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they don't get much, right?
most of the districts that I worked for, you were just front loaded in 10 days or less for the year, so you really could use them at the beginning, but some districts, you know, it's more like, okay, the day a month, or yes.
Yeah.
Then you're bad.
I don't even for Head Start, she gets no. leave.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it starts with.
But the government, it's a
And they're-
federal program and
They
they.
pay
They
peanuts.
pay like $11 an hour.
It's insane what they do. It is gross.
Yeah, it is terrible, but she loves the kids.
Yeah, see, that's the people who go into it, do because they people if they love the kids.
You know, the service piece of it.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to get started?
Trying to keep on that mouth shut.
We are doing a public hearing. Is there something for me to read beyond what's on the agenda?
No, that is it.
That's it, okay, cool. Let me know when you're ready. Oh, by the way, nail polish. I got this before that.
And it still lasts for you, that's awesome.
It still looks, well, as long as you don't look at all of the space down there, it looks fine.
Yeah.
But I have to get rid of them. I can't put my earrings on.
Let's get this started. Mhm.
All right. Call to order and pledge. All right. Let's call this meeting to order at 31. And if you going to do the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we did have hopefully not sick, and it appears we have everybody else here, in person even. Should I call up specific names?
If you want to, or you can just, so there's.
Just mention who's missing.
Yeah,
Just already, Colt is absent. It is an excused absence, if I understand right. So, all right, appearance of interested citizens.
This is a renewal. Yeah.
Are you speaking in both cases? This is urban renewal.
looks like-
In 15 minutes, we'll be doing the regular budget. Oh, okay,
I don't have anybody for urban renewal.
okay. We have minutes from the June 16th and the July 21st meeting. The July 21st meeting has been amended. It had an incorrect date on it. So if we I will entertain a motion to approve. So moved. Thank you. And a second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for Mayor Frank and a second from Councilor Tyro. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, I'm in favor too, so no opposed and unanimous. All right, we will now, the Urban Renewal Agency will hold a public hearing to obtain public input on the budget for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, as approved by the Urban Renewal Budget Committee. Do we have anybody scheduled to speak? Okay, open the hearing at 7:33. Oh, 6:30, we closed it at 7:34.
6:34.
6:34, excuse me. Open at 6:33, closed at 6:34. All right, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So. And is there a second? You don't need them. Being adjourned. Well, that's easy.
Okay.
Now we're done.
Yeah, we.
Are we done?
With that one. We know, we can't go now.
You've got.
Yeah. Here comes War and Peace.
I'm gonna take a moment to read the memo. Yeah.
Hospitals have a new imaging for the administrative department. It's called a mammogram. I'm waiting till 6:44.
Yeah, because that's what the advertisement said. From a party, you know, brush your teeth. I don't know.
Hey, Bruce, does it have
Yeah, it's been sold for years, 20 years.
China's leading everything.
And they're adding more. And all business need on beyond brilliant, because you know how many jobs have been created right now. Not just with solar, wind, I love. Actually, my answer over your question, I have yet to hear any place that is carving solar panels and not food or livestock. What they're doing is putting solar panels up to provide shade for the animals. They're also doing
That worked out.
agriculture where they're
Those things are
mixing
pretty hot.
foods and
Those
with
things
grazing
are
lands
pretty
and things like
I
that.
wouldn't wanna be a cow underneath that.
Yeah. The arguments against seem to be. It's just. Oh, people, wow.
And we wanna be number one polluter, so that's what we're doing. China used to be number one.
We're number
We're
one.
now number one.
Awesome, aren't you? Fran?
Yeah,
We kick their ass. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Well, we're number one, we're called it twice, so it's like, that's what we're happy.
Twice as much as I think, 3 times as
Let's
much.
go
They do.
back, I do well.
I just. Was Argentina. The South American countries has gone all.
It's not Argentina.
No, it's not Argentina. I can't think, I watched the documentary, but the whole country is all alternative. They don't use oils.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
I wonder if they're themselves,
That's when.
They are.
probably Peru or something.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a small part.
No.
I was a professor. There's this thing I love. Daily is reading the sciences. And it's always about what's the countries that people are doing, and just innovate and improve their reality.
Yeah,
On YouTube, you can find all kinds of stuff. It's better than TV. Exactly. Well, mostly, I mean, but even the little ads are shorter than regular commercials, even 40.
I think we can do it. Well, we just gotta see the faces, I think.
I wouldn't worry too much about her, she's my neighbor. Please don't worry about it. Not worried about it. Yeah, there's some sort of picture she wants of yours.
Yeah.
So. All right, we will bring this meeting to order at 6:45. And it looks like, we already did our pledge, so we're not gonna do that again. We have a full house minus the fence. And do we have anybody signed up for public? Yeah.
Which is that song. But no, she's going through it. Get her another.
Hank, did you want to speak in the public hearing for the state revenue sharing or the just regular things?
What was that?
Did you want to, we have public comment for the regular meeting or the state revenue sharing, which,
Water.
okay, so regular, okay.
I've got a question on the cops too, but that's a different story.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Hank, since I picked on you already. Come on up, sir.
I got old, but I can't hear it anymore, so.
Oh, come on up.
Okay, my question is, putting 4 new wells in,
Can I get you to state your name and address for the record?
yeah, Hank Hughes, 608 Miller Way, Dayton.
Thank you, sir.
My question is, putting 4 new wells in, I noticed on our thing here, we are actually more expensive than Lafayette, who just tied on with the windmill. which we had an opportunity to do earlier, but we didn't because it would have been more expensive then. But at that time, they told us that McMinnville would have run the line across because we're only 1,500 feet away from their end of their water line to the beginning of ours.
Mhm.
Our 5 wells we have out there, I think we have one of them produces 100 gallons a minute. And I don't know that the other 4 even equal that. So
We-
why do we want to go ahead and punch a whole bunch of new wells in? Considering they cost, I don't know, somebody told me $200,000 a copy.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got that, plus one of our city managers purchased a nice private piece of property right up there just off the Lafayette Hopewell Highway, the Smith Farm or whatever it is, which has water rights for over 400 gallons a minute. How come we're not pursuing that? It already has the well punched in. It's only what, 50 yards away from our water line now. Why aren't we using that? That's more water than we get off the hill and our wells too, so.
Well, we're actually gonna be discussing water tonight and those very wells. So, I don't know if you want to wait around and see how the discussion plays out. Or we can actually, I can have Jeremy give you a call and you guys can talk one-on-one and get all your answers.
Well, I know, but it's been 5 years that we've had that property and we're just now trying to get it tapped into our system. And we've run into a couple water problems.
Yeah,
You had a leak up on the hill or whatever,
yeah.
and had that been there, it wouldn't have made a big difference anyway. So, and my other question is, how come it says, the water increase we got was due to, anyway, we weren't increasing our rates, but when I was on city council, we had a $1 increase each year, and that was 20-some years ago, so. And so it has been increasing, and I see it on my bill. Every year it increases by $1, and plus sewer, thought it was 4 bits, but now it's $1 too, so each year it increases by $2, so. It hasn't been underfunded. It's been increasing as we go along. And I don't know, we put that pump in over there for the across the bridge. Was that, we had a grant to do that, and didn't we have a contract to get it in? So if we had a contract to put it in for a certain price, how come we ended up paying a whole bunch more?
That's a lot of questions to go into, and that's why I was saying maybe you should sit down with Jeremy and have a discussion. So you can get those answered completely, because we,
Can't understand you.
I want you to have a meeting with Jeremy. I'm gonna have Jeremy give you a call so we can talk to you, okay, Hank?
All right,
Excellent,
Mayor, I'll be happy to.
thank you.
well, you know, maybe we said it, but.
All right, we're gonna start, Steve, you wanna do regular, right?
Yes,
Okay, come on up, sir.
good. Steve Hopper, there. Steve Hopper representing Dayton Fire tonight. And we request every year for $2,500 to help subsidize the chicken dinner that we hold at the end of July for Old Timers Weekend on the Sunday. And without those funds, it really wouldn't be worth our while because it's all volunteer labor. And the costs of it is going up, but we've done it every year. It's a community event, and we have a lot of good turnout, not just of old timers, but a lot of younger folks too.
Yep.
Who like seeing things happening in our park. So I should have turned in my request paper a few weeks ago when I was here on budget committee, but I didn't.
So I got it turned in today, so you will see this in a few weeks or sometime before the next meeting. But I just wanted to speak to it briefly now so that can answer any questions that you have. I know how tight the budget is, I do, and I do feel it is worthwhile for the community. And so we're requesting as usual, $2,500 to subsidize the chicken dinner by the fire department, which by the way, this is put on by the volunteer members of the fire department. So the funds have nothing to do with the fire district taxing. It's two different things. Right. Any questions?
I don't have any, but just, we love the chicken.
Yeah. Chicken prices keep going up.
They
When it
do.
gets much more expensive, we're gonna have to start doing steak.
Steak.
I'm ready. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Excellent.
No other questions?
Anybody? All right.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you,
I'm gonna
sir.
return to my previous meeting.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve. Madam Mayor, thank you, excuse me, just, I don't think I locked my truck.
Sure.
I'm worried about it here today, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it looks like I have quite a few people from the VFW. Do all of you want to get up or just one?
Just these two.
Okay, come on. And then when you're up, please state your name and address for me.
I'm assuming this is already on live. I'm Rebecca Wallace. I'm the quartermaster for the VFW. I live in Schubert, 97192.
It's been a long time since I come in front of the city council. Some of you I do remember when I was a resident deputy here, Kitty. And that. There was somebody else I thought I remember, but maybe not. Well, anyway,
Where do you live?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
oh, I live at 609 Dayton, or Berry Street, Dayton, by Fly.
Thank you, sir.
Yellow Beach. I'm here because of the need for the flags around the park. And I used to do them, but then I got to another area where I left them here and then it got away from me, but I'm back again because I put them out the last time. And I was just ashamed to put them up there because of the shape of those flag poles. We had wooden ones and we had PVC ones. And some of them were leaning either way. So I think one fell off the board and somebody had picked it up and put it against a traffic sign. And to me, living in Dayton, it hurts me a lot that just happens. So I took the initiative, we all did, to be a VFW, is that this is what I was proposing to do, is that the conduit and the flag holders, and of course, the new flags. I kind of painted this kind of fast, so my painting's not that good, so don't pay attention to it. But anyway, that's why I'm here, because I want to get the flag program back up online again. And like I said, I'm proud of the city. And one of the things is, this is my pet peeve, I fought for this flag. And I hate to see it being disgraced, it already is everywhere else, and we need to be up to date on our flag program, and we got another, keep on going. I can walk though. But we also got, where I'm willing to do we're gonna have the Boy Scouts here that's gonna be here, help out, where if I can't do them, the Boy Scouts will do it, or we can do them together either way. Because I'm still responsible for another place of flags that have to go up on the bridge in McMinnville. I don't know how many guys have gone through McMinnville and the flags are up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bridge.
How many flagpoles do you need?
40.
40.
Because I think I know somebody who has a bunch of conduit, the 8-footers in his yard, and aluminum. So if I could get him to donate those, would that be something you'd be interested in?
You'll have that, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So if they're in great shape,
Yeah, I mean, they're brand.
then we would appreciate that. We're trying to keep the costs as low as possible, as much as everyone else is. And we know that teamwork makes the dream work for every kind of program that we can possibly, set up. And, the flag program, when we weren't able to put flags up, it was noticed, it was called out.
Oh, yeah.
We got phone calls, where are the flags, and we were kind of in transition about who was gonna take that over and how are we gonna make that work? And an amazing blessing was that the newest Boy Scout troop, wanted to help out with that, so it works in everyone's favor. We operate a flag program throughout Yamhill County, at least we're supposed to. We have a great flag program in Newburgh, and we're extending that into Dayton, the actual flag program. Before, the city of Dayton contributed $400 for flags, because the flags are expensive. We want to do a cotton embroidered flag, which, you can say, sure, we can do this polyester nylon version all day long, but the cotton flags get to be retired in an official ceremony. And we think that's really important, that we continue on with tradition. And so those flags by themselves are $39.99, the lowest price you can find the cotton embroidered flag. But that's what we're gonna do. And so you're talking $1,400 in flags to replace and get a better flag program going up in Dayton, because over time they fade, they don't look great. And we would rather have something that's quality and looks good and represents the United States versus something that's kind of drab and not really working out in. So we had a good meeting with a lot of great people the other day, and it was, we're gonna get 36 flags, 32 go around the park. With 4 of them extra. We're gonna have 8 POW flags. Those POW flags are also very expensive. And so, with the 8 POW flags and the 32 flags, we need 40 of those galvanized,
Okay.
poles.
I'll look into it, let you get.
That would be great. And then
Do
we
we have a
talked about
contract
the
number?
possibility of working with the city on putting sleeves in the concrete.
No.
But you can drill holes in the concrete, but then, there could be some wear and tear that can fall in on itself, so a sleeve inside the concrete after it's drilled would be really great. Because that would ensure it doesn't break down and there won't be any maintenance in the future.
And how much are those sleeves?
Well, you'd be looking at a PVC piece, 6-inch PVC piece that would slide into the drilled hole.
So it's just a matter of buying a big one and cutting it.
Yes.
It'd be a
And-
1 inch.
Wouldn't that make more sense to use metal in that?
Not really, because in the summertime, metal expands quite a bit and you don't wanna break the concrete.
Well,
Cause you want them to fit in there kind of tightly, but then if we break the sidewalk. With a sleeve, then it's more expensive. As well. So we are coming with an ask as well. Because those $1,400 for flags, the city used to pay $400 a year. For the service of having the flags put out, and we would partner with the Boy Scouts because they need their hours and whatnot, but if a flag needs to be replaced, the VFW would be the one replacing the flag. So an initial, having an investment would be helpful, because the VFW, we wish we had a money tree, but we don't. The other thing is, there was a program that was done in the city of Dayton before there was kind of a shakeup with the VFW and at the cemeteries, where wreaths would go out in the cemeteries. Well, the Boy Scouts are gonna talk about, we have all the material, we have the wreath hangers, so they would take those hangers and continue the program.
Do you guys partner at all with the Daughters of American Revolution?
I mean, we partner with everyone that wants to partner with us, and the DA.
I only ask that is because we have some here in the community. And
Don
it might
Hemlin
be-
reaches out quite a bit.
I am too.
Yeah, and I know you guys were gonna be doing Wreaths of America this year. That program is kind of fully funded when someone
Yeah,
pledges.
but I'm just thinking it might be nice in the future, that would be a good way to share costs and.
So we already have all the wreath hangers, and we were going to basically work with the troops to be able to use those hangers and continue the program that basically stopped over the last year and a half, I think. Yeah, and then the last program is the 9/11 program. So last year's 9/11 program wasn't so great. We didn't really know where everything was and kind of where that was at. Well, we found all of the material that was being used in the 9/11 tribute. And we're gonna leave that in Dayton, so that way that tribute can continue in the park the way that it did before.
Oh,
So again, that'll be partnering with other organizations like the DAR and the Boy Scouts. But
It's kind of nice when you put the flags up, people home, you know, wave at you and stuff, and. We did have one incident in McMinnville where we were putting out the flags and, the people that are professional bike riders or whatever they are. One went by and, he said, you know, you're in a bike school, like, my partner who's a little hot-headed, so gave him the finger and yelled at him, and he kind of along the line, I go, you gotta watch him out, buddy, he goes, no. We know we're in there, but we were only there for 10 minutes, but I don't perceive that doing here, but.
I don't know why I get some.
So it's gonna say yay and nay, but if you guys wanna help put up the flag, hey, good exercise.
Have you been Colt Wilkins and Miley Smith from the bypass? I know I read that they want to be involved in this. So if you haven't been in touch with them, please do.
yes, I'm in touch with Miley, yeah,
Good.
So we have your contact information?
yes.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Is there a way for us to be on their list for like a call for support for like hanging up in the, you know, in the park and things like that?
Yes, I think after we figure out what the troop wants to, they express that they wanna do those, placements. They get hours and badges and all the fun stuff that, the troops get.
Yeah, lots.
So we are
Yeah.
very happy to share that with them. And then, of course, the program still is retained with the VFW, so we can kind of make sure that the flags have, you know, if the city can't help provide monetary to replace a flag, that's what we're doing. We do have a flag program where if we solicit businesses and if the business pays $50, they get a flag and a pole, and it goes out with the other flags at the same time on those flag days. There's 14 days a year that happens, and that $50 helps towards the program and making sure that we get a flag and a pole and all of that. And so you could potentially have flags around the park and then also flags in front of the, it goes in the easement, and we would have to talk with the city on, you know, what that looks like. Newburgh allows it.
Or the 4th of July, wouldn't that look so lovely?
It would be very pretty. Yeah.
From purchasing new to having retired, about how long has that happened, out of curiosity?
It's a couple of years, so we're looking at some ways to extend the life of a cotton flag, because cotton flags, they're not quite as durable as a polyester or nylon flag. Say again?
Scotch guard?
Yes, but only the cotton flag can be properly retired with a fire, you know.
It has to be
Fire
particular material.
Because in Newburgh, we can't do a retirement ceremony with a burn barrel with a polyester or nylon flag. EPA won't let us do that. So that's why it's important to spend the extra dollars and buy the cotton flag, because we can't properly retire those nylon and polyester flags.
To do retirements or?
The irony of that.
How-
Quick question,
Yes, sir.
do you have any programs for residents?
It's the same as the
Is it the
businesses,
same?
so yes, so we have a lot of residents in Newburgh that pay the $50 and. They have a flag that's put in their yard right out front by the street. And especially like Nut Tree Ranch, for instance, it's a manufactured home park. And that place is just littered with flags during flag days. It's beautiful. You drive through and it's like a city of flags. It's kind of nice.
Really?
So anyone in the city of Dayton could participate in that.
Oh, thank you.
Do we have any more questions? All right, thank you so much.
I just have one
Yes.
question. Who takes care of the owl?
See you.
Rocio.
Maybe in the
petition for a
next week,
seagull.
or can I get with you to, set that up?
Sure.
And she'll pay you money for it.
But
Thank you again.
if the city would like to contribute though, that's the other.
Thank you. All right. If that is it. did you want to speak to, sir?
No.
Oh, okay, just double checking, I didn't wanna look
Thank you all very
overlook.
much. Thank you for your consideration of this. Really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
doing.
Thank you.
I'm George Edmonston. I'm the senior vice commander at the post 4015 BMW Vietnam veteran. And again, thank you for your consideration of this. This is really, I think, really important, especially this year on the 250th anniversary of our country. And by the way, we have just begun a new relationship with the DAR, which recently resulted in the two of us coming together to dedicate a new monument at Senate Memorial Park in Newburgh, honoring the Colonial War veterans fought in the Revolution. So that was a lot of fun. I was part of that, a lot of fun to be a part of that. So good question you asked there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, now we have our consent. Yeah.
Good one more.
No. He didn't too.
If you had any more questions, y'all know where I live.
Oh, yeah, I drive by every day. Come on.
I go right by you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any motion to consent with that? We have a consent agenda.
I'm going to approve. The consent agenda, but with the financial summary, April financial statement, May 4th, joint session meeting and regular session meeting minutes.
Second.
Excellent. I have a motion from Counselor Backett and a second from. Where am I? Oh, Brian.
In 4 years.
No, you're saying, but it just, when you get old, it happens. Things just go, wait. Where'd that go? Yeah, exactly. Okay, back in, Brian, all those in favor? Aye, all right. Motion passes. Okay, I guess we'll just go right into this public hearing. No, do public hearing to obtain, I'll read the little deal since, really, nobody's on one either.
No.
The city council will hold a public hearing to obtain citizen input on the budget for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, as approved by the City of Dayton Budget Committee. So we will open that up at 7:10. And we'll close at 7:11.
Oh, thank you.
Love there's for people on his pencil with me. Do we have to? So who makes this on? I'm sorry, Dan, we'll get to.
Oh, no, you're the fastest public hearing I've ever seen.
Okay, good. All right, we will close that public hearing at 7:11. All right, on to the second public hearing. The city council will hold a public hearing to obtain citizen input on the proposed uses of state revenue sharing funds in the city of Dayton fiscal year 26-27 budget. A, state alcohol taxes, 46,000, B, cigarette taxes, 1,400, C, state marijuana taxes, 4,000, and D, state revenue sharing for 6,000. We'll open that up at 7:11.
People need to smoke for a black man, drink less alcohol.
And I guess we'll just close that at 7:12.
It's good to see the tobacco number kind of growing. But we need more money, so.
A lot more people are not smoking as much.
Oh, I was wondering about Trump in that comment. I was talking about taxes and I'm like, agreed, but also.
All right, we'll close the comments. Wonderful. All right, first action item, ecology, Mr. Dan Blue.
Good evening, Mayor, Frank, members of council. I think I've met most of you before last year. My name's Dan Blue. I'm the government relations manager for Recology Northern Oregon. I have a very brief presentation tonight. Some of it might be a little bit of a repeat from what you've heard before. Go next slide, folks here. Perfect. We're gonna switch it up a little bit, just jump right into the annual rate review this time, and then I'll cover a couple of operational highlights and some updates and a little bit about our Recycling Modernization Act, and then answer any questions you have. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm a little hard of hearing too, so hopefully I'll be able to hear you. The room's very echoey, but I should be able to be okay. Let's see, so jumping right into it, regretfully, I am here to ask for a 3% CPI rate adjustment this year. The drivers, you can probably guess, are pretty familiar to folks. Our cost of fuel has gone up 16%. We're also seeing some wage increases. And then another big issue is Coffin Butte landfill. They had a Coffin Butte landfill, which is where
East.
a little bit south.
South.
I think it's Corvallis, Benton
Yeah.
County.
Oh, so we have to go even further.
Yeah, that's where we take it. It gets consolidated in McMinnville and then reloaded and taken down there. They had hoped to get an expansion for their landfill, and through a very long process, many hours of meetings, that expansion was denied. And so one thing we've learned from history is that when landfills are reaching sort of the end of their lifespan, they start to raise rates to make as much money as they can before they have to close. And so unfortunately, this may be something that's going to happen in the coming years as well. So, yes.
What alternatives are you considering?
Thank you for that question. Yes, we are looking at other options. Our North Coast operations, so Clatsop County, Astoria, Warrenton, Seaside, all of those cities, we reload in Warrenton and take it to Powell's County, to a place called Headquarters Landfill. We also have the option to go out the gorge. That's gonna have a little bit more of a transportation cost to it.
But can't they do it by rail out there by the gorge? Because and I asked, because my ex-husband's father worked for the railroad and did the train route.
Yeah, there is a lot of solid waste railed up the gorge. I know the Portland metro area uses trucks. They just find it more efficient. You have to have a very large quantity of material to get a spot on the schedule for rail, and we just don't generate that kind of quantity here in the valley. So I'm not sure for us
To use rail more, and we can't.
So unfortunately, you know, with the consumer price index for the last 12 months is 3.5. The franchise agreement allows us to come in up to 4% without a real formal process. We are seeking a 3%, which is consistent for all the other jurisdictions here in the valley. It is sort of a function of the franchise agreement to do that. And what these relatively minimal adjustments do is they prevent us having to come in for something much larger if we don't make these annual adjustments. I think last year it was 2.1%. So this number is incorrect. I also did Amity's rate slide deck today. So this is actually 86.82. So essentially, what happens is April 1st, we submit to the city a full packet with our annual rate review report, a cover letter, which was accurate, as well as our proposed rate sheet and a third-party financial review. We submit that in April. City staff takes a look at it. We come and do this annually. And within the franchise agreement, it sets a target of an 88% operating ratio and an allowable range of 85 to 91, and then that 4% cap on a CPI-based adjustment, which I spoke about. So where we are this year, if we implement this 3%, then the operating margin would get to 86.82. It's a little bit better than the target, and we don't like to go to every other city and have different percentage increases. That's why we kept it below 4% at the 3, just so we can kind of level that across all of our jurisdictions, both here and at the coast. So it gets us a little bit above the operating target, but not a whole lot, and definitely within that range that's allowed by the franchise. So that's kind of the numbers. What that looks like for your most common customer is $1.22 a month. And then for the 32 gallon curbside customer, it's 73 cents a month increase. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Here's the 73 and here's the $1.22. So, and just to see what that looks like, I mean, within the context of the proposed rate sheet, which should be in your packet, there's that 32, and there's the 90 gallon customer. One thing I do know is that your services, sorry. Notes up here. You have every other week recycling, weekly garbage. You have subscription yard debris service. I think there's about 123 customers in the city that utilize that service. You also have a yard debris sticker, so residents can get that little thing and go to the McMinnville transfer station and take as much yard debris as you want. And then you also have every other week glass, and I'd just say you have like one of the Cadillac programs here in the valley. I think McMinnville is the only other jurisdiction that has all those services, which is kind of great for your residents. So just wanted to share that with you. And we serve 779 residential customers and 38 commercial customers. Yeah, so a little bit about our service update. For a commercial, typical 2-yard container, their increase will be $33 a month, which is hard. So that's the annual report. It's pretty short this year on the finances. I'm happy to answer any questions, or I can go through the rest of it and then do it afterwards. Yes.
Sorry, you may not even know, but is the company ever thinking about burning waste instead of shipping it everywhere?
Yeah.
Because the cost to ship it everywhere would probably cost you the amount to build a facility that you could burn with the filter.
Yeah, that's a great question, Mayor Frank. I know Covanta, which was outside of Salem, they were taking 200,000 tons of garbage a year and incinerating it. And for a variety of reasons, they went out of business. And it's actually extremely expensive to build a safe incinerator. It's far cheaper to haul it, especially east of the mountains where it's dry. Those landfills have 150-year lifespan on them, whereas incinerators are very expensive to upkeep. The pollution controls required by the environmental regulations are super strict.
Which don't matter anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter, yeah, no, but
Sorry,
they
not
went
that
out
I
of
agree
business.
with that, I'm just saying.
They went out of business, and it's actually one of the things that's putting more pressure on Coffin Butte landfill is because they're now having to take those 200,000.
The reason I ask is because there are other countries, and maybe they have different setups, and I don't know if you folks go visit other places, but they burn garbage.
Yeah.
For electricity and other things like that, and it just. It seems like there's gotta be a better way than this traditional old trucking down the road where wheels and tires and smog and gas and is continually just building up, and you're gonna be packing the earth with all kinds of more shit.
Yeah,
Oops, pardon my French.
it was definitely European nations definitely have used incineration effectively, but they also focus very heavily on waste prevention and recycling before they get to that point.
Which we should do as well.
We should do that, and they're also more constricted in their land than we are. I mean, we seem like we're heavily populated, but we're really not. And between the 3 landfills that are up the Columbia River Gorge, there's probably 300 years of capacity for what waste we do send to the landfill. I used to work at Metro Regional Government. I was a systems planner, and when I was there, we did a study about rail, shipping, trucking, incineration, and at the end of that research period, we came up with that it was more environmentally friendly to put it into a truck and drive it to Arlington landfill than it would be to do it by rail or do it by ship. And incineration has just never, it's not been a popular option in Oregon. There's a certain
Yeah.
group of environmental folks that just absolutely, it's hard to permit it, hard to get the land to do it on, and
There's other options besides just burning it. But my point is diversify, not
Yeah.
just one thing.
not just one thing.
Well, when you burn it, you gotta sort it anyway. Not everything's combustible.
To some degree, but they burn everything. I mean, anything that's in your garbage cart that was going to Covanta gets, I've been there, it burns everything. It's not great. You have to scrub the outflow, you know, with really intense cleaners to get the, you know, the smoke cleaned enough to release it in the
I
atmosphere.
worked at a cogen plant over in Reading, so
Oh, right.
outside of it.
Yeah, there's lots of different stuff and every day they're innovating. Just more and more innovation and I get frustrated because it feels like everybody's like, it's either this or this. Diversify, do it all.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, I'm off my horse now.
Up this way.
Yeah,
Yeah. So quick question, and this is apologies in advance for me not knowing how this works, but what is the relationship between like the jurisdiction zones between you and waste management? So like, how does Recology and waste management split up?
So the franchise system is based on historical companies that existed before we did. So originally it was City Sanitary, had a lot of the cities here in the valley, then it became Western Oregon Waste. We acquired Western Oregon Waste, and that's how we acquired the franchises. The franchises are considered rolling franchises, which means that yours does this as well. Every year, there's a year added on to the term of the franchise agreement, unless the hauler is not performing well or has, you know, egregiously, you know, lied about what our finances are or something like that. Most cities find it fine to stick with the hauler that they have. You have the option always through the franchise agreement to make different decisions with that, and you as a council could discuss that. You know, we don't go after other people's service areas. That would just be not okay in our industry because we all work together in a lot of ways in terms about, you know, what's happening in Salem in the legislature or advancements in Recycling Modernization Act or other EPR laws. So we don't go after other people's business, but you all have the option to talk about whether this franchise arrangement is working for you. It's really your franchise and we are the service provider. It's a contract.
Well, I was just curious.
No, it's a great question.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, rate competition, things like that, if it's a healthy dynamic in a way,
Yeah.
between two companies. And I just don't know how, you know, franchise agreements work in that way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I was just curious.
Well, I can speak to the rates. Essentially, it's a cost plus contract.
Yeah.
And so we report to you everything that we spend money on that's allowed for in the franchise agreement. If you find discrepancies or questions about what we're reporting financially or in terms of how we allocate costs, because we serve 11 different jurisdictions here in the valley. And we use an allocation model that's based on the number of miles the trucks run, the number of hours our labor, you know, spend servicing this community versus Amity or Lafayette down the road. And then that allocation, at the end of the day, we're allowed a certain margin, which you could consider to be a guaranteed profit. But I want to make sure I'm clear that that profit margin or that margin also, that has to cover our taxes.
Yeah.
It has to cover significant capital investment. The garbage truck costs $500,000 now. It also sets aside some financial reserves for us to retain liquidity and banking for creditworthiness and all of that. So we basically report to you what the costs are, and then we shoot for that 12% or 88% operating ratio. And so that's the cost plus. And the difference in a franchise agreement from a private business is that we have to serve every week. We don't get to choose whether we pick up this person or that person, whether they paid their bill or not. Also, the efficiency of us serving the entire community, it helps keep those costs down. So instead of having like 3 different haulers in the city competing on price, where you have twice, 3 times as many garbage trucks, 3 times as many recycling trucks, you get some efficiencies gained from that. And so that's kind of how it works. Cool.
So if you don't pay your bill, you're still gonna get the garbage.
I'm sorry.
So if you don't pay your bill, you still get the garbage.
Well, we do have mechanisms for that, but you know, we do have to work with those customers, so we don't have a
You know,
choice.
they just drive around the block
Yeah.
and dump it back
They'll-
when they find out they didn't pay, but.
The repo can. So one more follow-up question.
Yeah.
When it comes to the services provided, so, you know, the glass, I want to kind of circle back on that. You said that us and McMinnville are kind of the only two, they're doing the glass recycle at this point in
At
time.
her, yep.
Do our rates increase with the amount of services that we offer? Or?
Yes,
Okay, so like if, in a hypothetical situation, not that I'm opposing this, if we discontinue, you know, glass or garbage, thing like that, the rest of the rates would lower?
there likely would be an adjustment there, yes.
Just out of curiosity.
Because it's, you know, it's a different truck and it's a different driver. So we have to have a different truck for each of those lines of service.
Okay.
So those definitely get, you know, reflected in the costs that we approve because of this community
Gotcha.
versus another one.
Okay, and then was that the city council thing that we decided to add? Like how did
Yeah,
adding
that
glass?
was, that
Yes,
was
we
decided.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, that was before I was in council.
But I mean, the test switching it around.
Yeah, we discussed, and it really wasn't that much extra.
Gotcha.
Because it, I mean, all in all, it's
Yeah.
not that much.
I'm just curious, yeah.
Or wine kind.
Yeah. Bottle recycle. But, okay, cool.
I seem to recall that we had a choice of adding glass or yard debris.
Yeah, that's what we were talking.
And we asked the community and they made the choice of glass.
With
But-
subscriptions for yard.
Yeah. I happen to appreciate the glass because nobody else picks it up. People who do yard work take their debris away with them. I couldn't get anybody else to take the glass away, so I could appreciate it. But yeah, we put it up to the people. They said we would rather have glass. So,
and subscription works and we probably wouldn't do that again. I know Sheridan has asked for subscription yard debris, but it is so expensive to serve 50 or 40 people. Luckily, there's a pretty reasonable number who have signed up for it here. But it's not cost effective for us to send a truck to Sheridan if we're only picking up like, you know, 15 people. So that subscription rate would be quite a bit higher now, and we were very reluctant to do that.
Are we at risk of losing it?
Are you? No,
Okay.
no, we're not looking at taking anything back.
Okay,
Which wouldn't, it was different leadership that made those arrangements, and we're trying to be a little more efficient in what we're doing.
so once we got it, we got it.
Got it? Hold on.
No, it's hard to get it back once you do it, it always is in that case, so,
For sure.
all right.
Okay, so can I continue to the
Yes,
other
please.
section? Okay, great. This will be a little bit of recap of ecology. I think you've heard this before. We're 100% employee-owned company. That means that all of our proceeds come back to us employees. We live in your community. Our assistant general manager, Nicole Heiser, has been with us for, I don't know, since he was 18 years old. Started out in the compost yard. He's now second in charge in our whole Oregon operations. He lives down the road. He's hopefully gonna retire here. His retirement funds will come back to this community in the form of going out to dinner and making investments and all those things. So we're very proud of that. You can see we're a West Coast based company. I won't dwell on that too much. Here in the valley, we have a collection company which serves your community. We also have the transfer station in McMinnville, which includes a compost yard, recycling depot. And then our offices, our HR team and our finance team and our customer service team are based out of that McMinnville office. So we have about 80 employees there, and a lot of them live out in these communities like yours. So
Yes.
we're very proud of that. The proceeds that we get don't go to Houston or Dubai as shares, they come right back to us employees. And so I actually have a 401k that my company contributes to, and then I have a separate fund that is my employee ownership fund. So I've got 2 retirement plans with this company, plus full benefits. It's a great company to work for. And then a little bit about our Waste Zero services. I know city cleanups, something that we've done recently here. We participate in parades. We support the air festival or the air show at the McMinnville Airfield. We've added a poster contest for schools where students submit posters for Earth Day. And we got 90 submissions this year. And the winning poster, the class got a party. The teacher got a donation so she could buy more school supplies. And the poster was printed on a t-shirt that we gave away to the class as well as people that just showed up at the transfer station on Earth Day. So a really fun project. We also have an artist in residency program. We're in year 2 now, where we support 2 artists for 4 months with a stipend to generate art. And then we provide a gallery space in the fall where they can display their art and sell it. And the artists get 80% of the proceeds, and associated artists of Yamhill County get 20% to help fund their program. We fund all of it. It's another great way to talk about recycling and education. All the art is made from stuff that was gonna go to the landfill, to your point. And then this is just a collage of some of the art that has been produced by Recology artists and residents over the years. I think our
It's been a very good.
our San Francisco site has something like 1,200 pieces of art in their museum from this, which is really cool. We get to pick one piece from each artist and we retain that. That's the trade. So kind of fun. Recycling Modernization Act, I think I briefly spoke about this last time I was here. It went into effect July 1 of 2025. The only real differences that you would have seen in your program is that now you can recycle nursery pots at the curb. You can also recycle gable cartons, like milk cartons, which we didn't used to allow. Aseptic containers, so think of like almond milk or bone broth, the stuff, the shelf stable, liquid foods, soups. All that can go in there now. The state took aluminum foil and foil trays out because all it did was burn up in the process of recycling metal. And so they took that off the list. People still wishfully recycle their aluminum foil if it's clean, and we don't really complain about it, but it's not really not doing anything good, so sometimes do that. Those are the big changes. The other thing that we have seen though through RMA is that the cost of recycling processing is going down because of the investment of funds from the packaging manufacturers into Oregon. So that's reflected in the annual report that we sent. It was just a 6-month period. But we used to spend quite a bit of money to pay someone to sort and process your recyclables. That's coming down, and it's going to be reflected even further in next year's report because we'll have a whole year of that lower cost for recycling processing. Yes.
Is there a stream for prescription bottles yet?
No, I can tell you why. They're small. The requirement is the tub has to be at least 2 inches wide and 2 inches tall. And the reason for that is in the recycling processing plants, they have these large foam screens. And they have holes in them. And the holes allow little bits of glass and debris to fall through. And the pill bottle jars stick in those holes. And then somebody has to climb into that machine when they shut the whole plant down and pluck all those little prescription jars out. So
Send a message.
so that's why. The other thing is that we are going to start receiving some contamination reduction funding from the Recycling Modernization Act. And that's going to help bring down some of our costs for waste to zero programming for like Kate's position. So those things should be reflected in next year's annual report as well. So these are good, what are they called? Tailwinds for the ratepayer, bringing some money that didn't used to exist in Oregon. At this point, over $200 million has already come into Oregon from packaging manufacturers because of the RMA legislation.
Excellent.
So that's going to continue to benefit your ratepayers. Yes, sir.
Are we ever planning on recycling clamshells, restaurant?
Clamshells are not on the list yet, but the nice thing about the Recycling Modernization Act is that it's a 2-year program plan, and we're halfway through the first plan period. They're already talking about what they can do with the next plan to add materials. There's a really complex statewide committee process that looked at responsible end markets where these materials go. And if there wasn't a responsible end market that has continuity, that doesn't fluctuate a lot, that is not sending it to China as garbage, then they can add those materials to the list. Clamshells is just not stable enough yet. So that's why those aren't in the cart.
We take those in the restaurants with us, just take our leftovers in home and chill.
There's a program in McMinnville that is reusable
Yeah.
take-home containers. I would love to see that expand. So that's something that Kate's helping out.
There was somebody at Mac that was set up on this 3rd Street. Too.
Yep. Yep, they're part of Zero Waste McMinnville. It's one of their subgroups.
Yeah, and during the farmer's market, they're always out there advertising and giving people.
It's pretty cool. I wish that could get more uptake. Like that's one way to reduce the garbage.
Yeah, they,
Reuse.
I asked them questions all the time.
So this is called a Recycle-On Center. This is funded entirely by Recycling Modernization Act. They started in Southern Oregon. This is at our Ashland Recycling Depot. We're the first one in the state to get it. It is basically a shipping container that has recycling bins for hard to recycle plastics, kind of like what you're talking about, clamshells. But for now, it's going to be focusing on styrofoam. They're not quite there yet, but styrofoam's coming. Plastic bags and film, let's see, the 6-pack rigid beer 6-pack holders, you know, I'm talking about those plastic things. You can recycle those there.
What, even the 4-pack ones?
Probably the 4-pack ones, if they're the same, yeah.
Well, you did recycle styrofoam and then quit.
Yeah, because the market went away.
Oh.
It wasn't a choice of ours, it was just, we had nowhere to take it, so we couldn't take it from you all. It was
It's
a
one
drop.
of those forever things if you can't recycle it too, so.
But the organization running this is called Circular Action Alliance. It's the third party entity who's responsible for deploying Recycling Modernization Act statewide. They service these containers, they send a truck that picks up all the materials, there's no cost to us. We will have one, either we'll have the container itself, or we'll just have the individual bins in our McMinnville recycling. I think McMinnville's gonna get a second one somewhere else. Lafayette is interested in one. I don't know if you are on the list for one, but if you're interested in talking to them about it, I can connect Nathan with the Circular Action Line folks to see if
I
that's
think that
possible.
would be great.
There may be like 250 of them all over the state, so
I see.
that's kind of fun stuff. Again, 100% paid for by us, so it won't affect your rates at all. It's just another way to recycle those hard recycled materials. And then a couple of quick operational updates. Operationally, things haven't changed. We're piping right along. I do have a couple of customer service announcements. I'll be honest, when I started 3 years ago, I called customer service from my house in Forest Grove and was driving to Seaside. And I was on hold still by the time I got to Seaside, which was super frustrating.
McMinnville's happened.
So that was not uncommon over 3 years ago. Over the last 18 to 24 months, our leadership team has worked very intensively with our customer service team. And we are now under a minute for when you get your call picked up and under 30 seconds on hold. So, and that's been over the last 6 months. So it's not a fluke. I'm telling you where we are at. Like we reset the bar for very quicker customer response when you call.
Did you hire more people or change your?
We filled some positions that we had trouble filling during COVID. We hired a new customer service manager. And then our general manager set weekly calls and he's like, what are we doing to make it better? What are we doing to make it better?
Love it.
And just every single week, you know, we had a half-hour meeting. It was very efficient, but it was very clear you have to make changes. And so people spent less time doing other things and more time on the phone. And the other good piece is that midsummer, we're switching over from a 40-year-old customer account system, which you imagine the black screen with the green letters. Like,
Oh, dear God.
yeah, we're still on that, but we're switching to a modern interface customer account system, which will have vastly improved billing ease for customers. So it's going to really benefit your customers when they log in to pay their bill. It's also going to continue to help us speed up our customer service response times, access to information. It's like going from the late or
Dial up.
early 80s to the actual 2020 is like, it's crazy. So we're finally getting that done. I will say there's probably going to be a little bit of a hiccup period when it first switches over. I think it's June 28th. So I will probably be sending you a letter like, here's what to expect. We might get some calls. We will work through these bugs quickly. Luckily, we're not the first in the company to go through this. We're like the 6th. So a lot of the bugs have already been worked out. So it's getting better and better with each company that they transition over. So, I feel like I've gone on a lot. I think that's it. Good stuff. Wow, now. I think that is my last slide though.
Oh, well, that's.
So I'm happy to answer any other questions you have. There it goes. Thank you.
I think we questioned you out. Does anybody else?
I'm happy that, I'm here all night if you want.
I'm just gonna say I'm looking forward to the switch over because I have yet to figure out how to get you on automatic payments.
Oh, touch the phones.
Don't try right now,
Yeah.
wait a little bit longer, you'll be
Yeah.
getting some information in the mail, that'll explain exactly how to. do it.
Yeah, you're still the only place we write a check to.
Oh, I do the online payments, but the auto,
We had to call home funds to get it taken care of.
My
Right there with
husband
you.
won't do that thing on the phone, so he's.
We have a lot
like,
of
"I'm
people
gonna
who
go down there and.
off at our office and then, so.
Yeah, he just drives in there. He drives by it, so. Off the bill.
You should launch in June.
June 28th, I hope. Coming up,
Weeks.
it's been pretty intense, like, we've been planning for it for 6 months and. I'm just hoping everything goes really smoothly,
Fingers crossed.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thanks. Have a wonderful evening.
You too.
All right. We are gonna move on to action item 2, Scarlet Communications Contract Addendum Approval on page 103. Did you have anything you wanted to cover, Jim?
Nothing that's not already stated in the staff report.
Excellent. And does anybody have any questions? No. This is good because we have that new winery that just came in, so it's really helpful.
This is already budgeted.
It's already in the budget.
Yep. So,
all right, I move to approve addendum A as presented. In the amount not to exceed $31,200 annually. With Scarlet Communications pursuant to the professional services agreement dated February 1st, 2024. And to authorize the city manager to sign.
second. I have a motion from Councilor Backett and a second from Councilor Peterson. All those in favor?
Right.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. We shall move on to page 111 for the McDougal Wells telemetry. Did I say that right? No, I didn't. Replacement quote approval with the automation group tab. Page 111. Anything you want to share with that?
Take us away, Public Works Supervisor.
All right.
Basically, this was, we talked about it when we did this current, budget cycle that we're in. You guys had approved a quote for the 53,928. So that we could get telemetry out at McDougal Wells, so we can actually see live what the well's doing, what the water level is, how it's performing. We held off, if you remember, until we got an integrator of record on board. So that put us to where this quote fell almost a year old, or just over a year old. So we have an updated quote and price raised $3,850, so. That's why we're coming back to you to see if we can get your blend.
What does the tell us what the telemetry does, why do we? Need it?
So basically, right now, if we have a well, McDougal 1 or McDougal 2, if either one of those wells has any sort of issue at all, we get no notification, the well shuts itself off.
And
And if it's the middle of the night, we don't find it until the next morning when the first person jumps on to check how everything's operating. Everything else, not everything, the majority of the rest of our system has alarms that are built in, so as soon as there's a problem, we get a phone call, we know exactly where we need to go, what we're already facing before we get there. So right now, we're just flying blind. So last year, when we were having issues with McDougal 2, it was being run pretty hard. And we were having issues with the bubbled water because we were getting aeration because the water was actually cascading in the well. we had no idea what the water level was without going out and actually manually sticking a tape measure down the hole, pulling it out, seeing where we're at, so. This would basically bring us back to what all the rest of our wells have currently, so we would have water levels. Pump on, pump off, any alarms that it's got. Notifications immediately if there's an issue, so. Kind of bring us to the 21st century.
In Dayton,
Wow. Yeah, he never. Got him.
All right,
4 days a week, we actually go out currently and we drop a tape down in there and take a measurement if the well is off, so we know where it's at. Okay, so.
that replaced a knotted string.
well,
I,
yes, please.
so the, 3850 is budgeted? Did we budget it, or where are we at?
No, but there's enough slack in the water fund budget where we could take it.
Okay, thank you.
We have one more question. Thank you.
May I?
Please.
Okay, I move to approve the Medulla well telemetry replacement project for the quoted amount, $57,928.
Second.
A motion from Councilor Peterson and a second from Councilor Tiebrook. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion. All right. We're gonna move on to the authorization to submit a technical assistance financing application to Business Oregon for the water systems financial analysis and rate study project on page 115. Anything you wanna?
Yes, ma'am. So earlier this year, I believe I brought an inquiry form to the council to get the ball started on this financing request with Business Oregon. This would be to do more than just a rate study. They would do a rate study going out 20 years, but it's going to do more than that. It's going to look at all of the different options that we're considering. The Mac water line tie-in. What do we do with the Lafayette joint system? How do we fund these deferred capital needs, like the 100-year-old transmission line? How do we start tackling these big strategic issues related to our water supply? And how do we develop a logical and fair rate system so that we can pay for that? I had a conversation around this time last year with a member of this body about how it would be helpful to have an analysis showed if we do this, then this happens. If we do this, then this happens. That's what the goal is with this project. Now, the $140,000 price tag, that was based off of a rough estimate that one firm gave me. I think that's very conservative. If we move forward with this and if we're funded, we're going to go through a competitive process where multiple firms have an opportunity to bid on this. And we'll likely get some responses that are less than that. Regardless, I'll be bringing it to you, the full scope of proposals like we did for the architect, where you review it and decide who we want to bring on board. The goal would be by this time next year to have all of this study done so that we can start making these big strategic decisions. Right now, we don't have the data. And that's why we feel stuck.
Yeah.
We don't know where to start. So I'm asking for your approval tonight for me to get this funding application started for Business Oregon.
So that's a low interest rate funding application, right? 1% or something.
Correct.
I know we talked about this at one time.
I just think this is such a necessary piece. There are so many moving parts to this project, even to our sweet little town. It's a million moving parts, and we need the expertise to come in and say, do that, don't do that, or make suggestions, or like you said, you know, the flow chart, the Venn diagram that shows you where
Yeah, knowledge is power. I wholeheartedly think this is a strong use of our money. Even though we're tight on the kids.
I agree. Anybody else?
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to authorize the city manager to submit a technical assistance financing application to Business Oregon in the amount of $140,000 with a water system financial analysis and rate study project, and to authorize the mayor to sign the application certification statement.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Council Hoover, a second from Councilor Martin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, we're gonna move on to action number 5. This is approval of resolution 2025-26-21, approving a franchise agreement with Hunter Communications on page 137.
I gotta say, Hunter Communications do a great job for me, and they saved me a bunch of money. I saved $75 by going on.
$50 a month for fiber, sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's no problem. Zero plus.
We have them too, so I can't complain.
Mayor, this was a very easy agreement. Our attorney drafted what you see. I sent it to Hunter. They said it looks fine to us. So that's what you have. There is just a slight change on page 144. It's going to be Hunter Communications LLC. And then let's see what else she sent me about this. Okay. So it's going to be Hunter Communications and Technologies LLC. And then on page 148. The notice is going to be, it's just going to read Hunter Communications, 801 Enterprise Drive, Central Point, Oregon, 97502. Those are the only changes.
Okay. So. Yes.
I move to approve resolution 2025/26. -1, a resolution approving a franchise. Council President.
A second.
Motion from Councilor Hoover, a second from Councilor Piper. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We will move on to action 6. Approval of resolution 2025/26-22, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, July 2026 through June 2027, on page 149. Questions, comments, concerns, anybody? All right. I'll entertain a motion.
This is budgeted too, I assume.
It is, the exact amounts will depend on how much we use them.
Okay.
I move to approve resolution 2025/26-22, a resolution approving a contract for land use planning services with the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, July 1 to 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
I have a motion from Councilor Peterson and a second from Councilor Moonfrat. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. We are up to action item 7, approval of resolution 2025/26-23, approving an intergovernmental agreement between Yamhill County and the city of Dayton for police services for fiscal year 26-27, and that is on page 173. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay.
I move to, resolution 2025/26-23, approving an intergovernmental agreement between Yamhill County and the city of Dayton for police services for fiscal year 2026 to 2027.
Something to say, I move to approve.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Mhm.
I second.
All right, I have a motion from Councilor Piper and a second from Councilor Peterson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, action item 8, second reading of ordinance 670, amending the Dayton Municipal Code. Chapter. Yes,
So for the IGA for the police versus for fiscal year 26-27. So what happens to the IGA, like worst case scenario, obviously putting the energy in the room, the lift's gonna pass. But worst case scenario, if it doesn't, what happens to the IGA in that capacity? Do we need to make up that money per the IGA in different ways, or does the IGA go away?
It goes away. This is
Okay.
for a 1-year term. We just won't renew it.
Gotcha, okay. All right,
excellent. All right, second reading of ordinance 670 on page 181.
Man,
Yes, please.
I noticed that it said in here first reading on a couple of occasions, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix this. I am doing the second reading of ordinance 670, amending Dayton Municipal Code, chapter 5.6, door-to-door solicitation on materials distribution.
Yes.
I move to approve for the second reading of ordinance 670 by title only.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilor Hildebrand and a second from Councilor Mackin. All those in favor? Aye.
Right. Is this our last meeting? So we're gonna adopt this one.
Next one will be about.
We don't do the adopt motion then.
We do adopt it tonight, right? Yeah. Shall I?
Sure.
Okay, I move to adopt ordinance 670, amending Dayton Municipal Code, chapter 5.6, door-to-door solicitation or materials distribution.
Second.
And a motion from Councilor Mackin and a second from Councilor Hobart. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passed. All right, action item number 9, rejoining the Yamhill Regional Water Authority discussion on page 189. Jeremy.
Thank you, Mayor. This is following up on some conversation the council had at your May 1st goal setting session. One of the top priority had to do with expanding our water supply. And one of the things on the note, some of the notepads that I saw had to do with being a part of regional efforts. I have some information in your packet that talks about the history of this and when we withdrew from the regional efforts. I also have an intergovernmental agreement in here about the regional cooperative with McMinnville Water and Life, City of Carlton, and the City of Lafayette, and at one time the City of Dayton. I'm seeking direction tonight from the council on if you want to get the ball started on rejoining this regional effort. There is no financial requirement to rejoin. Rejoining just gets us a seat at the table. As I mentioned in my staff report, long-term, this regional group is looking at 2 options. The first is a long-term water supply or water purchasing agreement with McMinnville. Okay, so that will supply a regional system. And the second one that they're looking at is a regional water treatment facility that would obtain water from the Willamette River, and that would serve the regional system. These are long-term. It's not gonna happen tomorrow, it's not gonna happen 5 years from now, it may happen 10 years from now. I'm just asking the council, do you wanna have a seat at the table as we're planning for this?
So I would like for us to clarify a question personally with the organizer of this. So it's come up in the past and it's been a little bit confusing on what the expectation would be of amount of water supply to Dayton as a percentage of our network by original supply. So, for example, is the expectation that we're fully replacing our infrastructure with this system? Or is the expectation that it's going to be a supplement to our existing system? Personally, I would be in favor if it's a supplement to our existing system, because the reality is our infrastructure will phase out over time naturally. But I think that it will be a much more expensive rate. I mean, they're going to bill us at 1.5. you know, what Midville's being billed, for example, that's what Lafayette paid, I think it's 1.5. And so I think that the price tag, if it was a, you must switch entirely, is going to be too high. I would personally be interested in a phase-in approach, so long as they're okay with us using it as a supplement in the near term, as opposed to a full replacement. So, putting clarification there, I would like to see from the, you know, organizing body of this, because that would make an impact on my own personal, you know, like of this.
So my understanding of reading the materials, they're looking for people to pick up the cost of developing these treatment plants and supplies, service pipes and that kind of thing from the Willamette, right?
Yes,
I thought they got their water from the reservoirs up in above Carton.
they do, the long-term plan though is this regional water. Water treatment facility on the Willamette River, and that was actually an idea that we had in the printouts in your packet. The regional entity took over that.
Is Salem and Kaiser, those and Independence, those communities discharging waste, treated waste into the Willamette?
Sure they are. Know anything about that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that, but it has to meet a certain standard.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cities upstream.
Yeah.
And I know that the studies, the deformations of the fish and those kind of things are associated with pulp mill downstream from us, ostensibly Newburgh and down from there, but. Are we feeling comfortable about drinking water out of a line? Created or otherwise?
I mean, right now we're drinking, you know, fountain water. I mean,
Yeah, but there's a lot of heavy metal runoff and things, and there's a lot of small chain
It's
molecules.
because there's a lot of farm.
Right, exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Every time you see those guys going over there and spraying the grass fields and all the rest, that's a small chain molecule. It migrates through our soils very rapidly and into our aquifers, and then it goes to the drainage in the Willamette. So,
About plants.
well, I'm just saying, it's to think of it, and the idea of phasing in, it's something that. I mean, it's like having something in your pocket in case the official wells didn't really work out very well. We found ourselves below capacity for our needs in the city, and I like it in that respect, but. I don't like the full cost, just jumping in and full
Well,
cost.
let me just add to that, because I used to go to these meetings back in the day.
Mhm.
And we decided not to go through with it because of the cost it was gonna cost each individual city.
Mhm.
I don't know what the cost would be now, you know, I don't know who's
Well,
running
there's no-
the whole program now.
Eventually,
Are we obligated, or can we even opt out when there is?
well, that's why we're no longer in it.
Right.
Because we didn't want to have to pitch in. We want to build it alone.
It was an overabundant amount. It was way more than we could afford, and it was gonna cost more than trying to rehabilitate wells. And that's the reason we backed out. The other reason is there was a slight feeling of we're going to lose our autonomy to our city, like they're gonna use the water to control the city.
So you can come up with some information regarding how much it's gonna cost, what are we talking about in terms of cost and that kind of. Is what we're proposing. We take a peek at it, see what we're talking about. Expecting cost to us as Dayton is power, right?
Could we have what's his butt come from McMinnville and talk?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we all have a lot of questions.
Would this
Yeah.
be part of
Sorry,
that?
I'm so mayo, hold on.
$1,000 ready for
I don't
this,
think-
kind of be part of that?
Maybe. Yeah. The thing is these regional issues are so far out.
Okay,
It's just a discussion right now.
right.
I kind of feel that we should get back in the room. And maybe I'm naive, but I don't feel like we're gonna be writing any checks anytime soon.
No,
I think, but being at the table, discussing what's happening in our region. Being a team player, I think is is a step that we should take right now. And that's where we're gonna learn what's going on, even drive some of what's going on, and on what project they're working on or what they're aiming for. So
Yeah, I agree.
it feels like we should be part of that commission.
And to your point, you're like, this is the future. We don't know how far down the road it is necessarily, but like our infrastructure is not, our water infrastructure as it is not gonna be around 200 years from now. But that infrastructure will be, you know, so to your point, having a seat at the table. No, I mean, that watershed's good for centuries, you know, I mean, it can,
Well, the springs up there will be around for a long time.
yeah. So, you know, to your point, I see at the table now.
It's a Cascadia earthquake.
Like, I'm definitely not opposed to having a seat at the table. I think it's a good idea to have a seat at the table. That way you know what's going on and you get a clue of how. And if you're gonna be able to play in the game, so.
So before you give me direction on this, I am more than happy to ask their director to come to a council meeting and answer any questions that you
Please.
have.
Please. I would like for him to come in.
Maybe it should be a special meeting, because I know Drew's gonna have a meeting.
Oh, I'm gonna have so many. I'm gonna have so many.
Bring coffee.
I'm gonna bring some snacks and popcorn.
Yeah, we all have like weird random things that we love talking about. I love talking about water. It's like infrastructure. I don't know. It's
Right place, right time.
I guess. Make it really eye roll.
Yeah, I guess I'm interested in you starting to prepare a resolution so that we can. Well, it's a, getting information is always good too.
Yeah, I used to like talking about that was water.
Dad joke.
Hey, don't worry, it's water for me.
Yeah,
Okay, so, is this the indication that we would like to get our butts at the table again?
at least to hear about what the deal is. You know.
And. What's that? That's all you need from us for that, huh, Jeremy?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. We'll go on to council comments and concerns, and we're gonna start down here at council.
Thank you. The only thing I've got is just general. Life in the city, so. I'll be filing probably a couple of grass complaints with you, Jeremy. And it's just, I just think that we're sort of shabby on Third Street especially, and there's some areas that look seedy, and I. That's really pleased about it. The other thing I want to say just briefly is that, you know, I was thinking about our libraries, right? And not funding the system and all that jazz, which is a good thing. I mean, it's the budget and all that stuff. It's glad we discussed it and all that. And I know that I was pretty strongly worded, strong, outspoken about it. But, you know, I was thinking about Grants Pass, because I lived in Grants Pass in 2008 when they had the big depression, recession, whatever it was down there. And first they just shut down the library completely, the whole Josephine County shut down the entire library. But the library stores did not close. Because people got together and volunteered. There was only one paid position in that whole system. And between the years of 2007, when that was finally, when it was shut down, and the year 2017, the library system stayed open through volunteers, through fundraising. And the community, I was part of that Friends of the West Pass Josephine County Library. And you know, there was a real community sense of people pulling together in this. And so with that, thinking about that, it sort of morphed me into a little more proactive thought process, and I don't know what it would take to get, I'm sure there is a Friends of the Library in Yamhill County. I know McMinnville is a nice library, but our library is funded through Yamhill
We
County,
had friends of the library.
or is it funded privately through each city?
You did?
We
Our
did,
library?
Kitty,
Yeah.
Our library is funded
I-
out of.
Kitty was right on, you know.
So in Grants Pass or Josephine County, that whole library system was funded through the county.
Yeah, but we had a friends of the library here.
We should have one again, right? And we can fundraise and do fun things.
We wound up down to 3 members, and one of them went to work and wasn't available anymore. It was just down to being the librarian. But yeah, we have Cindy now. She's restarting library program, going, having kids come from the grade school. We used to have them come and I would go to the grade school and talk to those who couldn't come. She's getting things restarted, maybe
We can get a volunteer base again.
maybe I'll touch bases with her and talk about some of the programs we used to do as Friendsville Library Grants Pass. Because there were all manner of things we did. There were like chili cook-offs, they had 4 or 5 times a year, they had events where people would come and sell their stuff. And then they'd get a cut of it. They were petitioning people.
We did eggs us.
some visits.
I mean, but they're funded completely for over 10 years. They were funded entirely privately, which was something that never been done in this nation before. For a municipal library, from a county like that.
Well, I do think it's possible, and I think we just need to put our heads together and make it happen, so.
I think there are people in the community who would love to see the library stay open or even have a bigger role in the community. Libraries are something that, the loss of a library, and I realize this is me personally, feels like a loss of society. It feels like a loss of civilization when we start to discount our libraries and want to change our books and want to rewrite history. That to me is an abomination.
Yeah, well, the library is a great resource for a lot of people. It's great
Yes,
for
it is.
young people. It's great for people who need a place to fill out an application, pick up tax papers. We can
It's great for all, we should all value
the Spanish, English, Spanish language program is through there, so,
So that's my
You
answer.
remember Hermiston,
yes.
social infrastructure, having libraries and things like that. Really helps communities get through COVID.
It also helps build the community and people's willingness to step up and.
And it helps people be smarter and think more, and we need more thinkers in this world.
Oh, God, do we ever?
Hey, Jeremy, how much was the yearly cost for this, a position like this?
So I'll give you,
This position.
I'll give you the fully loaded number.
I was gonna say it was 20 plus.
I think it was 22 something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So right now, she's at 15 hours a week. Last year, she was at 20 hours a week. At 15 hours a week, the fully loaded cost is $21,578.
One more time?
$21,578.
You might as well just say 22,000.
I'll wait till we start going, until that can go off of %.
Well, one comment is about the space, how nice to have AC, new floors. Some of the work that we did on this community center, we are enjoying, and I want to say I appreciate it. Because the floors, really, I mean, just the remodel that did happen was great, so thank you for that. This is a odd sort of topic, but I'm gonna say it out loud on the record, because I'm not completely. I don't like people being here on Zoom unless there's a real need for it. Zoom is an awesome thing, and I know it got us through COVID. But the
People are counselors.
counselors, I guess, mostly is what I'm talking about. The interpersonal body language, fourth dimension stuff that we get to do together in a room is a lot different. And flat out does not happen when you're on Zoom. So, and I know that there have been extenuating circumstances, and maybe, maybe I'll be in that situation sometime where I can't get home from Seattle or something, but I'm not comfortable with it, and maybe there are reasons for that to be happening at times, and I'm just not privy to it. And so I guess maybe I need that to be explained to me why I'm not, but I just want to put that on the table. I don't like that to just be an option for us as council. I think we should be in. When at all, and we can discuss, and I'm a reasonable person when I will listen, but I just wanted to voice something.
Is that in our, but is that our council rules where that's elaborated on?
Yes.
So it's not something that we can decide in a moment, it's like, it's written in, like, yes, this is a privilege that council will provide.
We went through the whole council rule thing last year, and that was part of it.
So that's just where I think to your, not to discredit.
No.
That's where we, I think, as individuals have to be a little careful, because it's like, I don't wanna pull, like, if Chris, for whatever reason, is running late, and you got a super call, it's like, I don't want. Like, you should have the right to do that, and I think actually you do have the right to do that for the council, so I hear, and I don't think I'm wording my words very well, right now it's a right, and I think we have to be careful of, like, imposing our, like, will on each other about it. Does that make sense? And I don't think that's the right way.
maybe my question is. Do I need to just suck it up, or do I need to know why someone's not there? Do I just need to accept that? The universe is allowing
If
that?
you want to know why they're not here, ask prior to the meeting starting or after.
Okay.
Ask me, ask Jeremy.
May I say something brief? It sounds like you're just wanting people to do the right thing. I mean, the right thing to be in the city, in the council chambers, as a council member, interacting. There are times when we're not able to do that. Now, I'm retired, so I'm here every time. And sometimes we're busy doing other stuff, working and things like that, and we have to. But the right thing is to be here interacting with our colleagues in a thoughtful and present way. And this, what I hear you saying is you would like to see all of us be doing that more regularly. For those of us that I know.
Yeah, I guess, thank you.
Okay,
If I may,
yes.
it is different zooming, separate but equal. You don't have the full experience. I am grateful because there are times when it's just, I've been good so far. I haven't needed to Zoom except when it was really, really cold that one time.
Yeah, that makes sense. To me.
To me, it's kind of like encouraging people to actually show up at meetings. And the best we could do maybe is to encourage people to be here in person. Maybe support it when they aren't here. Hey, it's good to see you in person here.
We could just be a little more goofy and that might make them happy to come.
Well, I can always
Keep my
Song and dance.
I think we need to be careful about trying to push people in person, because it could kind of go against me. I'm gonna go there.
Yeah, no, and I think, okay. I think it's always more fun and better to be in person.
Yeah.
You gain more. However, there are instances where that's just not possible, where, our lives get busy. I had surgery, you're sick, or, whatever. And we need that opportunity. But I think for the majority of our council, we're usually here. I mean, there's maybe one person that's not always, but but people's are all different, and we unfortunately sometimes have to lump it.
We've had some excellent attendance records so far this year.
It really hasn't been too bad.
Absence list.
It really hasn't been too bad.
Yeah,
So-
well, it's been, I've been watching and I noticed lots and lots of absences from a few people. And how do you convince them, hey, we really need you to show up? You said you wanted to do this, come on.
Well, I'm not gonna be a mean girl, I think.
Well. Being diplomatic is a little bit harder work.
It is. But sometimes just saying something straight out is just as good.
Yeah, we missed you last week or last month.
And I also want to say on the record that I appreciate it when someone has an illness or surgery or whatever, or can't get here, and makes the effort to arrive on Zoom. So I get that. But
She's just saying she really likes it when we're here because we gain so much. And it feels like we're connecting
Yeah,
and we're a team,
we all like
right?
hanging out with each other.
It's true.
bonding.
You can't see my socks on Zoom.
All right, Miss Kitty, would you like to make your comments?
I know that I am due to write something about the levy and get it in. Now, Scott, you've already done something?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Jerry reminded me and Lucio, and I was like, what? I never, and then it's like, boy, I don't remember that now, so I had to throw something together. Yeah, I did.
Would you share, what you wrote so I can get an idea maybe what not to write about?
I wrote an experiential piece about the levees failing down at Grants Pass in Josephine County, which were traumatically entire the community. And then I finished it with a strongly worded recommendation that everybody vote for it, and I was told I couldn't do that, so we had to strike that, which is okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can't make a recommendation,
Uh,
but really, my experience was, and I think I've already shared this with you on a couple of occasions, that, and this is what I said, is that I always took law enforcement for granted until it wasn't there anymore. And there was a prostitution ring working in the park across the street. There were needles all over the place. There were people going through my backyard that I finally had to put up a gate and a Smith and Wesson sign. I mean, it was anarchy, and scary stuff was happening all the time. Home invasions were just insane, and people were getting murdered. It was nuts, and there was no law enforcement. No.
Luckily, we didn't get that crazy here when that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have the drug thing, especially when we had the old newspaper recycle thing over there. Everybody went over there to that big old super.
So anyway, that's what I wrote.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
my-
okay. So I'm thinking, see something, say something,
Hmm.
and maybe focus on the cost of vandalism and how much.
How about we have a town hall again with the sheriff's department, but it'll be in the park.
Yeah.
For National Night Out.
Yeah, that'd really help it.
And we can encourage people then, and maybe we can come up with some sort of flyers or something you can have out. I don't know.
Just write what's in your heart, Penny, that's what.
Okay.
I know
well,
you've got it.
I have a pretty
It's
good
a good time
idea.
to talk to everybody at that point in time, when we're having National Night Out. It's also a good time to help people realize that they do have some control over their own lives, like turn on porch lights, lock the doors, don't leave a computer. Those kind of things.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I was gonna ask about code one. Is there no US bank left in Midvale?
There is one in Midvale.
Yeah, it's on Third Street.
That's the only one,
Oh, okay.
and I don't think
Third
that's
and
honest. I don't know if it's gonna be there that much longer, honestly.
So I was wondering if,
Stay there, I've got a safe deposit box.
weren't there two other people, like Kathy Carton and Lori Flores, who were on the sign-in with you?
It was
Just you?
just you and me.
No, I wasn't on this, I'm not a signer because I was the executive.
I think it was just me.
Wow.
Lori,
There
they didn't, Kathy never was part of it, and Lori,
was, yeah, well, so I guess. Get a counter check and I don't know why it's so hard to get this money out of the bank. But it would be good if we could get going on that now.
if you want, we can meet during one of my lunch hours. I can come up to US Bank and we can do it.
Okay, they won't talk to me. I'm not on the account. I'll be there to keep you company, but you're gonna have to do all the talking.
Oh, you know about that.
Okay.
One person talks more through.
Oh.
Can I say something about that? I asked them if there was a way we could get it done without having to go into the branch, and they're being very slow getting back to me.
It's a good try. It's good.
I emailed them a while ago because I was a signer on another thing and they never emailed that. I ended up just going to cut. So. Anywho, Council Tyco.
Sure, I've got three things. This past Saturday was the Dayton White Hunt. So it was another success. They had a lot more people registered than actually showed this year. So the park was a little fewer than it was last year, but they had a lot more registration, so.
It was so fun to see him come rolling by my
It
house.
was a blast.
I saw a few come by just as I was getting ready to go into Portland,
Yeah,
so they got waved down by a clown.
yeah, so Cheryl Walsh and Spanish Pulse, they're the ones that do that, and,
They did a good job.
they're doing a great job. It was a lot of fun, I highly recommend everybody, attend it next year.
Yeah. There were men, overweight, I don't mean this in a mean way, but like family men, overweight men, they're like, I gotta get out here and be with the kids. And they were watching. It was so good to see. Sorry, okay. Anyways.
The next one I got is the Dayton Farmers Market Summer Preview event. We got those flyers, we're gonna get those printed out hopefully this week. And we'll get that going. We've already got, I'd say at least 10 confirmed vendors. With several others that we're gonna be reaching out to here tomorrow.
Fantastic.
So that's exciting. Again, that's just gonna be the last Sunday of each month, starting in June, July, August, and September. And then we'll do surveys, so next year we can do a full blown farmers market.
Right.
My last one is to kind of touch on the VFW when they came in. So it was brought to my attention that there was the flags and there was concerns about flags being put around the park for Memorial Weekend. Did some research, found Juan had the flags. Put a meeting together because the troop expressed interest in possibly helping put the flags out. And they talked about the cemetery as well. So we met at the park on Friday, I believe, is when it was. And we sat down, we talked, Becky was there as well. We discussed, the new flags, holes, so I'd have to talk with you guys and the city. I do have access to a concrete guy that can drill the holes, and I am 95% certain that he'll do it for free. So there'll be no cost on that. But that, yeah, so, but that is a discussion that we'll have to have further. They also, they being the VFW and the troop really hit it off. They're partnering up, like she was saying. There is a shed here that VFW has. They offered to share half of it to the troop for the kids to store their stuff.
That's so awesome.
So, it was a great meeting and, yeah, a lot of cool things should be coming from it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It feels like that, the VFW, we were sort of at loggerheads with it because of this place and all that. It feels like a reunion. Yeah, when they were talking about the scouts and everything and it was soft and fuzzy, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
The meeting started out a little rough.
Mhm.
But by the end of the meeting, it was fantastic meeting.
Yeah, but that soft, gooey stuff is the stuff we really.
Yeah,
need
we
for this
really
community.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. And that's what I got.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry in advance, everybody. Okay, so I got a couple clarifying questions before I jump into this. So Jeremy, for the requests earlier today, are either, obviously the VFW one wouldn't have been built into the budget because this is the first time that we're hearing about it. But was the 2,500 for the fire department built into the budget that we just passed?
It is not, we cut out the community grant program, however. Let me find the page. If y'all want to turn to page 50 in your packets. State revenue sharing fund.
Back yet.
Under miscellaneous expense. There's $7,000 budgeted.
It's currently unallocated.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you turn to page 48. We have $32,976 cash balance. That's gonna go down $5,000 because we had a loan from the water fund and we have to pay that back, so that'll bring that down to like $27,000 cash.
Okay, so the reason I ask, This entire meeting, I've been really hung up on this, and I apologize, I haven't been present for the latter part of it, but. I have nothing but admiration and wonderful things to say about, Scarlet Communications and marketing and, contracts. At that $31,000 a year. I think about a lot of the things that we've cut, positions that we've had to cut. I look at, things that we maybe can't do. And that $31,000 as a flex becomes, to me, a question of what better serves our community. I look at, so I run marketing for the company that I manage, and $2,600 a month is a pretty significant marketing cost month to month. I mean, and I look at, I look at things on here as scope of services, and, like if I'm paying above $2,000 a month, I'm wanting, 3 social media posts a week, I'm wanting, things that are very, very relevant. We get like 1 month, I just looked, and like Y-Run wasn't in anything that we put forward on Discover Dayton. I think that our marketing arm is very important, but I also think that without the tech position as, intact, I don't think that we're getting the most out of this contract. And I think about that money, and I think about what could we do for our community with that equivalent money. Triva's position was $22,000. $2,500 for the fire department chicken dinner. $1,400 for VFW. All of that together is 25.5K. And that still leaves, $6,000 in flex if we cut this contract. I think about the things that our community wants and needs now. And marketing, it's a long-term goal, it's a long build, it's very important. But short-term, what our community needs, I'm not sure if this contract is providing, in my opinion, what the community needs and wants now. I think that we could circle back to something like this, but like the Discover Dayton website, I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. Honestly, I don't know why we have 2 websites. The Discover Dayton website should just be the city website. It's a much better site, it's better built. I would advocate spending a little bit of that Delta money and doing a migration from the .gov site, or just even incorporating that builder for the Discover Dayton site into the .gov site. And then making it so that it's just one location. I don't think there's a lot of people that are going to the Discover Dayton site right now, because to me, if I didn't know, I would think that that's our city site, or vice versa. I don't think that we necessarily need to have 2 separate websites that serve different purposes when you can have them potentially, I don't know the .gov restrictions, but when you could potentially integrate them together as a long-term, website solution where you can have it all under one umbrella. The marketing side of this, I think, is really important, but I think that we need to be a bit more maybe strategic with it, long-term, medium and short-term. I don't like that, one of the big things on this is social media, management, and the last post was from May 17th. I don't think that we're getting $2,600 worth a month when like the library assistant position is tangible and it's measurable and it's usable by our community. Same thing can be said for the VFW flag. Same thing can be said for the chicken dinner. Same thing can be said for whatever we choose to use that other $6,000 on. It would be the remainder. I don't know if I was really hesitant to vote yay on this renewal. And I looked at the terms and conditions and we cut it in time. It's not like we're locked into a year. But I think we're cutting very important things, and this contract, while important, I don't think we're getting our minds worked out of it. And I would wonder if it's a conversation where we should cut this and then move that money to things that are tangible, measurable, and impact the day-to-day life of the community in very, very positive ways. And that's coming from a guy who, like, I love marketing. I think it's very important. I just, with how tight of a budget we have right now, I'm just really I'm not feeling good about this right now. And it's, maybe we circle back on it next year, but like. Reducing the library's hours, reducing what we can do. When like. We could take this away and fully fund that. I mean, am I missing something here, Jeremy? Are they different funds?
Yes,
Okay, can we do a loan from one fund to another fund?
no,
Okay.
so we're paying for this contract out of the transient lodging tax fund.
PLT fund.
And those are statutorily reserved for specific
For
uses.
things like this.
Now, you do bring up a good point. Are we getting the biggest bang for our buck? And one area where you can use TLT monies is in marketing for tourism. And this, but you can also use it for tourist infrastructure. And this is a point that I alluded to at our first budget meeting. Of saving these monies, accumulating them for something like Dayton. For these big tourist like infrastructure goals. So if you want to weigh a trade-off, I think that would be more.
What about, this is a really big thing. We have a lot of kids in high school that do tremendous stuff on the computer. What if we could get a kid to do our marketing? For a little while.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's possible. I think it's very possible that we could. Possibly find somebody to intern for a while or do something like that.
Wouldn't we have a better luck with college too?
Yeah. and-
Why are you guys so afraid of the high school kids?
Well,
No.
so, because I looked through this when we were looking at hiring a marketing contractor. Brand image is important. And brand image is defined oftentimes by the person who's doing that work for you.
And
Yeah,
who better to do, to represent Dayton than our young people?
Right, but you also have to look at longevity of like their tenure in doing that, but also like experience, like I hear you, I 100% hear you. I just,
That would be part of the point, is that they get to learn and we get free,
But there's a professionalism aspect to that too. And-
but that's. what
Our
they're
high school
doing.
kids are becoming professionals, but they're not, and if we decide to employ them to that, it's like that, I was listening to, or read an article today about. They had to turn a flight around that had left for Spain because there's a high school student
Yeah.
on there that had a Bluetooth that said bomb, that's what it was named, so nobody could find a Bluetooth, he wouldn't own the fact that his Bluetooth was named bomb. So they turned the airplane around 4 hours out of Newark. Flew back again, pulled everybody out on the tarmac, and finally they realized that it's those kinds of judgment issues that really make me question. Using high school, I mean, as a college person, you're in a professional program, you're looking to go out into the world and do this. And who knows, there may be, that's actually something that might be doable.
Well, we have a few colleges around us that
Yeah,
are,
lots of them. It's kind of a sweatshop thing too, it almost feels like, oh,
no, but it's a good experience, and then, I mean, if it's somebody new, that's something they can put on the resume, they can have a portfolio of the, what they've done.
Having a student do it, I'm not against that at all, I'm glad to see that.
I'm just saying, but I just thought it might be a good idea.
Let's get pretty, let's do a college and a high schooler and they can work together.
But it could be actually a program in the high school to a pre-college program. It could be.
I'm just saying, it's an opportunity that we can provide to the kids that gives them some sort of professional skill that they can learn. Yes, ma'am.
I really appreciate your comments, Drew, and your perspective and your knowledge about it. I think your comments about the combining the two websites is spot on. I think we should explore that, knowing nothing about websites, but having two children that are brilliant about it and in the marketing field. I think having professionals do marketing is important. And, maybe having an intern is an okay idea, but, turning it over to untrained people, I think is bad.
No, I don't mean that.
But I really appreciate your perspective and wonder if we can get more bang from our buck on this contract. It does sound extravagant. Just in terms of what we're getting done. I don't know who evaluates that, I don't know if they have an evaluation system for us to say, hey, or I don't know any of that relationship with the city council.
Would it just be a matter of taking out, looking at whatever people have to offer and then canceling contracts?
I think I want to know exactly what this council wants. What is our marketing strategy? What are our marketing goals? I don't think we've asked those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Not as a city, we haven't.
And paying, I think Dave was really locked in on that. Credit to him, but I think that in his absence, I don't think that we have an alignment to all of that right now. And I think that paying that amount of money when we're out of alignment, I think just hurts us. I do have a question though, Jeremy, if I may. So when we talk about the TLT funding and the general fund relationship, so you just said that TLT funding, marketing or marketing infrastructure,
Tourism.
tourism.
Tourism has a very specific definition.
What is that definition?
That definition is somebody who travels 50 or more miles away or is an overnight person who stays overnight.
Okay, and when we talk about like infrastructure, we're talking physical infrastructure, or are we talking, can it be? Like, what is that?
Tourism infrastructure.
So like the fireworks show, for example, like I see the tourism piece of that being applicable. Is that something that could be adjusted over to the TLT funding?
Do you think realistically that's going to draw people from 50 miles away?
Absolutely. It did last year.
We would need to show that.
Yeah. No, it is one of the premier fireworks displays in this area right now.
It would need to be more than just we know a lot of people from out of town.
It would have to be,
Gotta have
you don't have to,
Gotta have-
because they're,
Yeah.
we would have to do
Just
that.
survey it.
Mhm.
So the reason I ask this is, are there things in the general fund right now that if we have the ability to back up our claims, we pivot to the TLT fund? Like the fireworks display, it's 10 grand. Right, and so we can't take those monies for contract and move it over to something else, but can we reallocate line items that could be applicable to two different funds from one fund to another fund to then essentially free up money within the general fund?
I've tried to do that as much as I could.
Okay,
Like with the fireworks.
Yeah.
That's donation based, so I didn't worry about that, but everything else that could get shifted around, I've tried to do that. as
Okay.
much as I could.
cool, that sounds good, I was just curious.
So do we want a work session on this?
Well, we're gonna have a special session on the 15th, maybe we should have another discussion about it,
15th of what?
this June.
I'm gonna be out of town.
Oh, and then.
Our 25th year anniversary, I'm not zooming from the hotel room, guys. That's okay. Kathy's gonna have me supper.
So,
Yeah.
I'll wrap this up.
Oh, yeah, summer anniversary, what did you do? Always do the city council meeting for 3 hours, see? Oh, yeah.
How romantic.
25 years.
So to wrap this piece up, in the work session aspect of this, personally, I'd like to, and I want to gauge council's thoughts on this, I'd like to add an action item of looking at the contract and seeing if seeing how we can align. Maybe we don't change.
Utilize it better.
Looking at the website aspect of that, how much money that will cost, maybe it's reducing it by a bit and working with a website developer instead, I'd like to. Maybe it's keeping it the same way and then just having it really honed in. But I think that would be a good action item for the work session. What do we think?
I agree, yes, that's perfect.
Second. Over second again.
All right, do you have any more comments?
Oh, no, but not right now.
Well, in the interest of time and my earliness in the morning.
I only took 20 minutes.
I know. I haven't spoken.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna 15, I was gonna 9.
No, in the interest of saving time, I won't say anything. I already said everything I wanted to say to Jeremy earlier, so we're gonna move on into information reports and we'll go ahead and start with finance.
How did the last email I did go where I shared questions that you guys had from the,
I liked it.
okay. I'm proposing, I had something to say, but because of time, I'm proposing to do the same thing again this time.
Okay. All right, do we have anything from library we need to talk about?
Only what's in the.
Just that's in the packet, okay? And was there anything else, Don, that you wanted to add besides what's in the packet? Okay. And Rosina?
Just look at the elections page. I've been working on it. I think it looks beautiful. Just take a look at it.
Excellent.
When's the deadline to file for, city council for next year?
It's August 20th.
Still a couple months.
Yeah.
Right.
They will file it opens, right?
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
I will not be here June 3rd through June 5th. So
Also opens on June 3rd and then go through all.
But you can go down to, if she's not here, you can still go down to.
you have to come to me. I am the elections officer, so you have to come directly to me. And then I'm the one that just checks in with the county, so you can't go to county.
Oh, you can't. We used to be able to go to the county too.
No,
All things go through OCO.
it has to go through me, so that's why I look at the page, because there's a calendar when I'm not in the office. So people know when they can come in.
Okay.
We'll
Let
see
me
us
pull
all.
that page from my desk.
He's a good ball.
All right, and city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have, few updates. I have a progress report on Fisher Farms, my staff report briefly. Some of the rehabilitation work has shifted and we're gonna have some cost savings with that. And we're gonna also have some cost savings because we're not doing some things in the original study that we had planned to do. GSI is preparing an estimate of the net impact. We have added some things like coliform sampling. So it's not gonna be, you know, there's some things we added and some things we took out. But I'll share with you the net impact once they have that. We're still on track with the rehab work for the July 31st timeline to have a final report to y'all. And then the rehab work didn't yield much success on well four. It kept getting sand in it. So we decided to pull the plug on that rehab work. And I'm gonna be talking to y'all in June 15th, when if we want to explore drilling of a well on that property. So just be prepared for that discussion. Our facility study is underway with Hacker. They've already held a kickoff meeting. They've been here for a site visit, getting measurements and all that good stuff. They're gonna have staff interviews with everybody on the city team so that they can understand the needs better and start programming. As everybody knows, the Bay House unfortunately closed.
What? I did not know that.
I still got a gift card.
Well, you can go to Coach because they still have a day house. But they have a place on in Lincoln City.
I thought they closed the.
They closed that year.
They closed that to move here.
This was a secondary.
They're good.
Sorry. I heard it notices.
They have a bunch of bottles of wine for sale though.
I don't need more wine.
Yeah.
Too much.
I partnered with SEDCOR, our economic development regional entity, to gather funding request letters from other Yamhill County cities to keep urban form going. The county has those letters and they're considering that request.
They're not gonna do it.
Okay.
For what?
Sorry, go ahead.
This is for urban form.
Okay.
I participated in budget committee meetings with the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Government. I had a planning meeting with their interim executive director and our contract planner to talk about what we're doing over the next year or so. We held a budget committee tour with new members. Sue and I oriented our newest plan commissioner, Dave. On Friday, the other city managers and I had a welcome lunch for Dundee City Manager. So it was nice for us all to come together. Since I was the last newest one, I had to buy her lunch. And she gets no favor for who comes later. All the priorities that you developed on May 1st, I'm gonna put that into a resolution. Bring that to you, so we have our game plan.
Good.
And then I've started to work on a new fee schedule for planning and building fees. What questions do you have?
Have you heard back from the county yet?
I haven't.
This balance is definitely too much.
But try see them.
How long? Have
Well, I mean, it's,
we had what, a week now?
and they have the weekly meeting, right?
Yeah, on Thursday is their meeting. I saw Kit this last week, but I didn't get a chance to run out the door to ask.
I have a question. Are we, right now, are we using one auditor for prep and, I mean, or do we have to?
We have one auditor, so one division in the audit firm prepares their annual financial statements, and then another division audits those financials.
And that's, you're satisfied with that? Two of you?
They would do that anyways because of the specialties.
That can, it's not a best practice, but it can work. We're not the only city that does that. The reason Rob and I are exploring another firm to prepare them for us is so that he could have, they would generate the spreadsheets that he could then use to start preparing these financials himself.
Like a good idea to me.
Not diggity.
Yeah.
All right, any more questions for Jeremy? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute. Did we get maintenance?
Yeah.
I'll get it. Well,
I don't know.
no.
You're thinking about your anniversary.
So moved.
All right, so 8:50.
Be here. I'm not even gonna mention it, Kathy. Could be like, what?
You get to be excused from here, y'all. I love that.
Right. All right.
Sir.
That's what Peterson made me do it.
I got it done.
Oh, you have to.
What did you do?
So when you.
All the roads in the back. Yeah.
I could move on. Yeah.